for a lot of the community here on the Central Coast. But let's talk about our forecast now. So how are we looking for today?
We're looking actually pretty good. It definitely, forecast-wise, it feels like we're a long way from the very soggy winter we had right now. Nice and clear for many of our communities, especially those interiors, starting to see some of those temps warming up already. But one of our main stories today is actually this dense fog that is going to cause some visibility concerns this morning for a few of our locations. Not a huge concern because it will clear out quickly, but still something we're keeping an eye on. It's also going to keep these temperatures significantly cooler for today. So that's good news. We're also even seeing this start to make its way down into the Paso Robles area from the Salinas River Valley. That is going to help us keep on the cooler side all the way through today. There even is a little bit of that smoke you can see from the lake fire that's actually extending high enough in the atmosphere to be picked up as cloud cover on this monitor. It's definitely not cloud cover, it is smoke, but you can still see that forming this morning. Now what we're seeing for this dense fog advisory, it has been extended later on for tomorrow, but at least for today, it has already been taken out of our forecast. So good news there. We did have that dense fog advisory early this morning for some limited visibilities that's expected to extend for the next about hour or so. Now what we're seeing across the region is that continued excessive heat concern, and that is for the interiors of both San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. The same advisory and warning we've been talking about for nearly 2 weeks at this point, continuing today and tomorrow with those really intense conditions, but this is going to stay in place all the way through Saturday at 9 p.m. Now that is because of this big high pressure system that has really just been forming here on the Central Coast, bringing us those southerly winds, significant sunshine and low humidity, very much perfect fire weather concerns for many of our locations, but also bringing that record-breaking heat as far north as up into Canada and south into Mexico. Really the entire of the West Coast is facing those nearly record-breaking highs once again for today. Now we are also seeing some wind gust concern that is through the region with that big high pressure system, and especially for areas around the lake fire, we could be seeing wind gusts up to about 20, even 25 miles an hour later on today. Now that can get a little bit tricky for firefighters attempting to combat this blaze. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that. Thankfully, calmer conditions in the overnight hours. That's going to be much better for those out there at that blaze. Now talking about that smoke and those concerns with this fire, continuing to see those worst hot spots moving just a little bit farther towards the east. Those winds are also pushing to the east, so that's the flank of the fire we're really keeping a close eye on for today. It's also where a lot of the smoke is going to be funneling its way farther into those interiors, and even later on today down towards our south coast. Not as severe as the last few days, but still something we're keeping an eye on. Now we do have a little bit of that dense fog still sticking around this morning. See out there in Pismo Beach, definitely a foggy one, but we're going to clear out and warm up. 109 in Paso Robles today, 86 in San Luis Obispo, 77 in Santa Maria, 71 in Lompoc, and 80 degrees in Santa Barbara for today. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast, 109 for Thursday as well. Then just look at that cool down, only in the low 90s by Monday and Tuesday. That's exactly normal for this time of the year. Even in those coastal valleys and our beaches, we're going to cool down all the way through the extended forecast. Neil, back to you.
All right.